Good morning, this is Miss Triangle, and we're starting chapter 3. So this is section 3.1, pairs of lines and angles. So please make sure that you're putting the date and title in the top right of your paper, the date and title. All right, 3.1, pairs of lines and angles. Then you're going to set up your lines for your Cornell notes, and you're going to write your EQ. What are the different types of lines in geometry? What are the different types of lines in geometry? We're on learning target 3A. I can identify parallel, perpendicular, that's perpendicular, and skew lines as well as angles formed by a transversal. So pause the video if you need to write more time to write those down. I'm going to go ahead and start writing the vocabulary. So parallel lines are lines that never meet. Or cross. Okay, so something like this. Parallel lines, just to remind you, let's say this is line A and this is line B. If I wanted to write that, I would say line A is parallel to line B. Okay, and also the other thing I'm going to remind you about parallel lines is they have the same slope. So that will be important in this chapter as well, so make sure you're writing that down. The same slope or m, so something like y equals 2x plus 1 and y equals 2x plus 3. Okay, same slope, 2 and 2. So that is parallel lines. Okay, perpendicular lines are lines that form 90-degree right angles. I'll draw a picture of this as well. So this will be line A, line B, and they form right angles. And the symbol for this, line A, is an upside down T, is perpendicular to line B. All right, and their slopes are negative or opposite reciprocals. So something like 2/3 and negative 3/2. It's like you take the fraction, you flip it, one is positive, one is negative. So pause the video if you need more time for parallel lines, perpendicular lines. Please make sure you're getting all that, the definition, the picture, the stuff about the slopes. You're going to need all that this chapter. Next vocabulary words, we have skew lines. That's a new one for most people. So skew lines are lines that are not parallel so they're not parallel lines, but they also never intersect. All right, so if you look at this diagram right here, line K, I'm going to make that green. Line K is skew. Oops. Okay, sorry about that. All right, line K. So where's line K? Here's line K. So line K is like going through that piece of paper or that plane. That is skew to line M. So those two lines never meet, but they're not parallel. So line K is skew. There's not really a symbol for that, to line M. So usually they're in different dimensions, okay? And I'll kind of show you on the Google Meet with a piece of paper how that would work as well, okay? Coincident lines are basically the same line. Okay, so for example, two lines that are basically on top of each other. So let's say that's line M, and this is line N. Those would be coincident. Okay, intersecting lines are two lines, it could be more, but we'll just say two. Two lines that cross but that aren't perpendicular. I'll draw you a little picture so you can kind of see what I mean by that. So maybe something like this, where we have like 130 degrees and 50 degrees. So they're definitely not perpendicular right angles, but they also are intersecting. They're not parallel. So pause the video if you need any more time for that. All right, examples. So if you want to abbreviate and put EX, you can. All right, if your hand's getting tired, you do need this picture. All right, and then think of each segment in the figure as part of a line. Which lines or planes? Think of each segment in the figure as part of a line. Which line or planes appear to fit the description? So part A, I'm going to zoom in just a little bit. Part A says line or lines parallel to CD containing point A. So let's, and some of these kind of got cut off here. So this is B right here. All right, and this is G, so you might want to put those on. All right, so let's think about it. So something parallel to CD. So let's use green. Parallel, or I guess I'll use blue. So here's CD. We want it to be parallel to CD that contains point A. Here's point A. So I would say that would be line AB. Okay. Or you could say line segment AB. It doesn't really matter. All right, part B, we want a line skew. I'm going to erase this so we can start over. A line skew to CD containing point A. So here's CD, so we want it to be skew going through point A. So I would say AH would be a good option because that's not going to cross. AH. AG would also work as well right here. All right, and put B and G back here so you can see those. All right, part C, lines perpendicular to CD containing point A. So again, here's CD. If we want it to be perpendicular through point A, it would need to be AD. Or DA. Then planes, so not a line but a plane parallel to EFG. Let's see what that looks like. EFG. So here's E, here's F, here's G. So it's kind of the bottom of the cube containing point A, so that would be the top. So let's call that plane. We can call it plane CDA, CDB. Any of those would work. Okay, so that was example 1. If you need more time, you can always pause the video. All right, then we have a couple of postulates. So we have parallel postulate and perpendicular postulate. Okay, so I'm going to kind of summarize these postulates for you. So you should have something written down for parallel postulate. You don't necessarily need to copy this word for word, okay? But basically this is saying there's one line parallel to a given line through a point. So if you have a line and a point, there's only one possibility. All right, so that's what that is saying. So they're saying if you want something parallel to line L through point P, there's only one choice. There's one line. And perpendicular postulate is basically saying the same thing, just with perpendicular. So again, like here is your line. Here's line L. Here's your point, point P. There is one possibility for how to make a line perpendicular. There's only one option. Okay, so you should have something written for both of these. You should have these vocab words in your notes, but you don't need to copy the whole paragraph.